Sutra of Impermanence continuation. Thus I have heard, once the Bhagavan was the Jetavana Grove, was at the Jetavana Grove in Attakapindika Park in Shravasti. At that time the Buddha told the bhikkhus, in this world there are three things that are not likable, not lustrous, not desired, not agreeable. What are the three? Aging, illness, and death. Bhikkhus, aging, illness, and death, and bhikshinis, of all things in this world, are truly not likable, not lustrous, not desired, and not agreeable. If there were no aging, no illness, and no death in the world, Tathagata, the worthy and completely enlightened one need not appear in this world to speak to all sentient and also non-sentient beings on how to cultivate and what can be attained. Therefore, on how to cultivate and what can be attained. Therefore, you should know that aging, illness, and death of all things in this world are not likable, nor lustrous, not desired, and not agreeable. Because of these three things, Tathagata, the worthy and completely enlightened one, appears in the world to speak to all sentient beings on how to cultivate and what can be attained. Then the world-honored one reiterated this teaching in the following gatha. All external splendor will perish. Likewise, the body will decay. Only the incomparable Dharma will endure. The wise should discern clearly. Aging, illness, and death are resented by all. Their appearance is dreadful and repulsive. The countenance of youth is fleeting. Soon it will wither and fade. Even living to 100 years, still one must give in to the force of impermanence. The suffering of aging, illness, and death constantly afflicts all sentient beings. When the world-honored one had spoken this sutra, the bhikshus, devas, dragons, yaksas, gandharas, asuras, and so forth were all filled with immense joy. They accepted and followed the teaching faithfully. Always pursuing worldly desires and not performing good deeds, how can you maintain your body and life and not see the approach of death? When the breath of life is ending, limbs and joints separate, the agonies of death converge, and you can only lament. Eyes roll up, blade of death strikes down with the force of karma for a roasted chicken. The mind fills with fear and confusion, and no one can save you. Gasping the chest, heaves rapidly, shortened breaths parch the throat. The king of death demands your life, and relatives can only stand by. All consciousness becomes hazy and dim as you enter the city of peril. Friends and relatives forsake you as the rope drags you away to the place of King Yama, where fate is determined by karma. Virtuous deeds give rise to good destinies, and bad karma plunges into hell. Oh gee. There is no vision clearer than wisdom, and nothing darker than ignorance. There is no sickness worse than hatred, and no fear greater than death. All that live must die. Commit sins, and the body suffers. Be diligent in examining the three karmas. Always cultivate merits and wisdom. All your relatives will desert you. All possession will be gone. You have only your virtues as sustenance on this treacherous path. Like those who rest by a roadside tree, they will not linger longer. Wife, children, carriages, and horses will likewise soon be gone. Like birds that gather at night, going their separate ways at dawn. Death callously parts all relatives and friends. Only Buddha enlightenment is our true refuge. I have spoken in brief. According to the sutras, the wise should reflect and take heed. Divas, asuras, yaksas, and so forth who come hear the Buddha's teaching with utmost sincerity. Uphold the Dharma so it may endure. Each of you should practice with diligence. all sentient beings who come for the teaching, whether on land or in the air, always be kind-hearted in this world. Abide in the Dharma day and night. May all worlds be safe and peaceful. May infinite blessings and wisdom benefit all beings. May all sinful karma and suffering be removed. May all enter perfect stillness. Anoint the body with the fragrance of precepts and sustain it with the strength of samadhi. Adorn the world with flowers of body wisdom. Do well in peace and joy wherever you are. And then 3 refuges. I take refuge in the Buddha. May all sentient beings, as well as non-sentient ones like trees, understand the great way profoundly. Which is Chuang. Hello, very much welcome. And bring forth the purest body mind. That is mind, not purest body. Those showers are welcomed every now and then. They are not mandatory to anyone. I take refuge in the Dharma. May all sentient beings deeply enter the Sutra treasury and have wisdom vast as the sea. I take refuge in the Sangha. That does not include Chung because of the master that is apparently unable to understand that he is actually not teaching the proper science to the children, and does tremendous damage to also, for instance, the police force of the United States. From together formed assembly that has no harmony. How do you like my voice? Huh. Now 4 great vows. Countless are sentient beings I vow to delegate to liberation. Endless are afflictions I vow to delegate to eradication. Measureless are the dharmas I vow to delegate to master. And supreme is the Buddha way you vow to attain. Next, all the harm you have done since time immemorial is to be ceased, to be spoken non-stop about, and substituted in dynamic processes of contribution to the society, like for instance giving persons who are denominated peasants chance to know that they were not born doomed, nor were the children, okay? That all have the same capacity to understand, and no one is luckier than another one because they managed to have free vegetables, okay? Are caused by great anger and ignorance and produced through my body, speech, and my will. That is me. Guess if I have any choice and if I'm paid. And now I do not have anything to confess, and learn that and stop, like the Catholics, killing persons based on invented by you transgression. Namo.